Hi guys, Alan here and welcome back to LIMMM. I've been in the market for a used grand piano this past month or so, and the search has been testing my patience, to put it mildly. There aren't so many people selling right now, and because of that, it is a little bit hard to find a good used instrument. Through my years of playing the piano, talking to technicians, and reading articles, today I'll give you guys a quick guide of what I'm looking for when shopping for a used grand piano. Buying used can be so much more affordable than buying new, but you also might encounter more problems that you need to put in more time and energy and money to get repaired. For more detailed information, definitely speak with your technician since they know so much more than the average pianist and I do. But hopefully after watching this video, talking to your technician, and searching around and fixing up an instrument, you can end up with an instrument that you can absolutely love. So without further ado, here are some basic things that I am looking for while shopping for a used grand piano. The lid hinges are probably the most important thing for any pianist to take a look at while looking at an unfamiliar piano, whether it is for performance, practice, or for buying a used grand piano. Always check the hinges to make sure they're actually there. I've heard so many horror stories from technicians about disasters when someone took the hinges off to take off the lid and forgot to put it back on, and an unknowing pianist opened the lid without the hinges and the whole lid just collapsed and broke. So always check that the hinges are there. The soundboard is the diaphragm of the instrument, which is the main contributor of the quality of sound and the sustain of pitch. Watch out for major cracks in the board. Small ones can usually be repaired without too much trouble, but the larger ones and more numerous ones can be much more troublesome, time-consuming, and expensive to address, and may require the whole soundboard to be replaced. A soundboard has a natural curve to it, which allows the notes to sing and sustain. As they age after decades of sitting around and being played, the curvature gradually becomes less and less, which means less sustain and a greater need to replace the soundboard eventually down the line. When looking at a used piano, try playing a few notes on it. If the sound suddenly drops and plunks down, that could mean that the soundboard has lost much of its curvature and therefore would likely need to be replaced. A good soundboard should allow the sound to bloom for the first half second or so and gradually decline while still mostly sustaining the sound. Replacing a soundboard is a major commitment financially, so you should be aware of the age and the quality of the soundboard before making a purchase on a used piano. For the strings, watch out for consistent wear or rust, which may mean that the piano needs to be restrung with new strings, which is a major investment. Very old strings should probably be restrung anyway to ensure for a more vibrant sound. The bridge of the piano should be raised and without any hairline cracks. If the bridge isn't raised or you see some cracks there, the bridge might need to be replaced, and that is another major investment. The pin block is the wooden block that holds the tuning pins. Watch out for any obvious cracks or loosening of the pins, which could mean you need to put in some oversized pins or eventually replace the entire block. Also, the pins should be bent slightly towards the pianist. Over time, the pins could start bending back the other way towards the instrument. If that happens a lot, then maybe the whole pin block and all the pins need to be replaced. The action and the hammers are the moving components that translate any finger movements to a sound coming out of the piano. Regulation and work on these components could range from being very minor adjustments to replacing major components. If the repetition feels sluggish, that's usually a minor adjustment, with the technician only need to adjust the tension of the action springs. If the hammers are slow to come back to their normal position, then the felt key bushings may have worn down a bit, or for very old Steinways, developed verdigris, which is basically a greenish corrosion of the material surrounding the joints of the action. If that happens, it is very likely that the hammers and the shanks that the hammers are attached to need to be replaced completely, yet another major investment. If there are grooves in the hammers and the sound is very bright, then the hammers usually just need a voicing, with the technician puncturing the hammers repeatedly with needles. However, over time, the hammer shape may flatten out with lots of playing. This flatter hammer geometry negatively affects the sound and tone quality of the initial attack. If there's enough felt left, a technician can spend some time to file down and reshape the hammers to give it a rounder shape, a rounder geometry. But if there's not enough felt left, then the hammers may need replacement. You'll want to check that all three pedals are working properly. The right pedal should lift off the dampers evenly and consistently, and the dampers should be able to prevent the strings from vibrating consistently as well. The left pedal should smoothly shift the action to the right by a couple of millimeters, so the hammers strike fewer strings and therefore leads to a softer tone. The middle pedal should keep the dampers up of all the keys currently being played while keeping the other dampers down. From talking to my pianist friends and colleagues, I know I use the middle pedal far more frequently than most other pianists, so I always do a complete check of the middle pedal whenever I see a new piano. The last tip for searching for a good used piano is finding a reputable, honest, and capable technician. I've had so much fun just talking to technicians throughout my life since they know so much about every little detail within the piano. Calling up your technician to ask questions or even paying them to take a look at a promising instrument is essential if you want to make sure you're getting what you're paying for. I've been in touch with my technician through my process of looking for a used piano, and he's been an invaluable source of information and wisdom to stay patient while looking for an instrument that I will truly love. So these are some very quick basics of what I'm looking for in my journey for a used grand piano. And obviously there's so many more intricacies of the instrument that only a piano technician would know, but hopefully this video will get you guys started towards your own journey towards buying an instrument. Hit the like button and subscribe for more musical content. Until next time, keep it logical. Take care, everyone. Buying a piano. What was that?